This is a podcast from the Business Times.
Good evening. It's Thursday, July 30th, 2026. Here's your market-focused daily closing bell update by the Business Times. Asian markets traded mixed today as investors navigated another volatile session following a week of AI-driven market turbulence. Sentiment remained fragile after a divided U.S. Federal Reserve left interest rates unchanged. While Brent crude climbed as the U.S. resumed strikes on Iran, MSCI's broadest index of Asia-Pacific shares outside Japan was down 0.32%, after swinging wildly between gains and losses through the session. The volatile South Korean Kospi index remained under pressure and was down 1.23% in today's trading. Memory chip giant Samsung Electronics closed 0.72% lower, despite reporting second quarter operating profit that beat analysts' expectations on the back of strong AI-driven demand for memory chips. The company also posted a more than 250-fold surge in semiconductor profit and announced multi-year supply agreements with major data center operators. Samsung warned that global chip shortages are expected to intensify and persist through 2028. Despite the upbeat outlook, investors remained concerned that heavy AI infrastructure spending by technology companies could weigh on future growth. Japan's Nikkei rose 0.71% to 61,867. As investors looked ahead to the Bank of Japan's policy meeting tomorrow, where the central bank is widely expected to leave interest rates unchanged. Moving to commodities, oil prices climbed today in another volatile session, as investors weighed escalating U.S. military action against Iran against hopes that a diplomatic breakthrough could restore shipping through the Strait of Hormuz. Brent crude rose 1.6% to $92.22 a barrel, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate gained 0.51% to $84.89 a barrel. Both benchmarks had briefly paired their gains earlier in the day after surging around 7% to 8% in the previous session, one of the sharpest daily rallies of the Iran conflict. The jump came after President Donald Trump threatened to strike Iran very hard following an Iranian missile attack on a U.S. military base in Jordan. Amid a week of major central bank decisions, investors were left searching for clarity after the newly led U.S. Federal Reserve delivered mixed signals on the future path of interest rates, fueling concerns over renewed volatility in stock and bond markets. As widely expected, the Fed kept its benchmark interest rate unchanged at 3.5% to 3.75%. However, the decision drew 3 dissenting votes from the 12-member committee, prompting analysts to describe it as a hawkish hold that leaves the door open for further rate hikes. The uncertainty pushed the yield on the 30-year U.S. Treasury briefly to its highest level since June 2007. Fed funds futures are now pricing in a 60% probability of a rate hike in September, with around 33 basis points of additional tightening expected by the end of the year. Staying in central bank news, the Bank of England is expected to hold interest rates steady at 3.75% in its latest decision today. Broader European stock markets opened up in mix today, with the Pan-European Stoxx 600 edging up 0.16% in early trading. Among the major indexes, the London FTSE 100 and German DAX both fell slightly. Now, let's turn to earnings coming out of the tech giants. Meta Platforms fell 7% after hours following its weaker-than-expected revenue forecast and its reported fall in cash flows, while Microsoft surged 8% on strong growth in its Azure cloud business. The contrasting results highlight the growing divide in how big tech companies are capitalizing on the AI boom. Looking ahead, U.S. stock futures edged higher early today, with all 3 major indexes rising. The gains followed a sharp sell-off on Wall Street overnight. The Dow Jones Industrial Average plunged more than 1,150 points, its biggest one-day decline since April 2025. The S&P 500 fell 1.52%, while the Nasdaq Composite lost 1.74%, ending the session more than 10% below its intraday record high. That's it for today. For more business news and market updates, visit bt.sg. And Lens on Daily for the latest tomorrow at 10 a.m.
This is a podcast by the Business Times. Find more BT podcasts at businesstimes.com.sg/podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. This podcast is meant to provide general information only. SPH Media accepts no liability for loss arising from any reliance on the podcast or use of third parties' products and services. Please consult professional advisors for independent advice.